Welcome to another episode of Real Estate, Real Talk, Real Life, and Real Live with your host, myself, Damon the Agent. I'd like to thank you all for joining me like you always do each and every Friday at 12 noon, where I talk about the latest real estate topics, do my Q&A, and always talk about a subject of the day. Last week I wasn't here because it was Thanksgiving weekend. I hope you all enjoyed your Thanksgiving. Please follow me on all social media platforms. I am on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Threads, YouTube, Snapchat, and TikTok. Also, the past couple of weeks, I was having technical difficulties with getting on Facebook, and it seems as though that has been corrected. So I want to welcome back everyone for my Facebook audience who I have not seen in a while because of technical difficulties. So as always, I like to jump in and talk about the latest real estate topics. So right now I'm going to give you a housing market update because the market always is constantly shifting. I've always said throughout my career that the market shifts every 3 to 6 months. It's just like the seasons. Right now we're in the winter season. So a couple of months ago we were in the summer season, we were in the spring season, and we just came out of the fall season. The same thing happens with the real estate. A lot of times people do not factor in the timing of everything, but you have to, because it's just like with the interest rate world was real low. What was it? Just 3 years ago. But if you think about it, it doesn't even seem like 3 years because it happens so quickly. And that's the same thing that happens when prices tends to go up and people are trying to, phantom like where we are. So a lot of times I like to give the housing market update report so people know exactly what's going on. So for example, in this year, 2024, we're in December right now. And throughout this year in DC alone, the market has decreased 2.9% since the beginning of the year. Right now we're in December. 2.9% may not seem like a lot, but it is a lot. Like if you do 2.9% on 900,000, that means that's 26,100 that the market has actually decreased. So I also want to look into and just share with you all some other data that I actually just pulled up recently explaining what else is going on. Right now, I'm looking at a market update and a market statistics over the past, and also the forecast for the upcoming 2025. We have a projected forecast of where the market is going to actually be at then. So let me go over real quick with you all. Right now, I am currently in the Washington, D.C. metro area, which covers D.C., the surrounding areas, which is Northern Virginia and the outskirts of Maryland, primarily Montgomery County, Prince George's County, Charles County. These are the things that are factored. Howard County and Arundel County, those are normally factored into like the Baltimore metro area statistics. So just so people know. So right now in 2024, I just want to give you an idea as far as the home sales are concerned. In the Washington, D.C. area this year, by the end of this month, December 31st, it is projected that over 49,000 homes, 49,630 to be exact, will actually have been sold in this metro area. Last year, 48,950 was actually sold. So we have a slight increase this year. Next year, it is projected in 2025, 53,550 homes will be sold. Now, the reason why I'm giving out these statistics is because some people say, oh, they're going to wait for the interest rate to come down. We're going to wait for the interest rate. And while the interest rate may come down, it may not also come down. People are going to continue to buy homes. The prices of homes are steadily going up. So whenever you are looking at the overall numbers, like I always tell people, the interest rate is not the only factor because the cost of the home plays a huge role. For example, if you prefer to get, like, let's say a single family home in Waldorf, Maryland, and you waited all of last year and you waited this year and you wait next year and you're waiting for the interest rate to go down. By the time the interest rate goes down, the price has gone up more than you would have saved waiting on that interest rate. Like, for example, I just gave a statistic of in DC alone that the prices decreased by 2.9%. So 2.9% is actually some people's actual interest rate. That's 26,000. Okay. But in the time that you're waiting for the interest rate to go down, some houses are going up more than 26,000. So is it going to balance out? You always have to look at affordability. You can't always look at just the interest rate because you can always refinance an interest rate. The price of the home, once you purchase it at that particular price, that's the price unless you buy it down. Now, if you're paying with cash, you can always negotiate any price that's out there and offer less when you're paying with cash. The problem is many people are not paying with cash. They're using a loan product and they still want to use the method as if they're paying with cash. And those principles do not apply. So I always say this to say that you have to study the market, or having professional like myself who studies the market, knows the market, can give you good professional advice. And right now, the reason why I'm giving you this market update on the housing market is because I want you all to really pay attention to the numbers. So when you all are to deciding to buy or sell, that you're making an informed decision on what's best for you. The goal is always when you're purchasing a home, to get the best home for you at the best price, and also making sure that you can actually afford the house. You don't want to be house poor. So you don't want to overpay for an house. If you're selling a home, the goal is always to get the most that you can. You don't want to undersell the house. There are certain strategies to do when you're doing either one of those. Now, these numbers that I'm giving you, like I said, the 2024 forecast is so that you know that right now we're on pace to actually sell more homes than we did in 2023 while people were still waiting for the interest rate to drop. Next year, it is projected to sell even more. Now, I hope that you all are really, paying attention to these numbers that I've given and that I'm going to give again. Like I said, right now in 2024, it is projected that 49,630 homes will be sold in the Washington, D.C. metro area. Last year, 48,950 homes were actually sold. And next year, 53,550 are forecast to be sold. I say all this to say that if you're looking to buy, right now is a great time to buy. Do not wait for tomorrow, what you can do today, because tomorrow it may be too late. I'm just going to leave it like that. All right. So I also want to give you all some statistics on active listings. Right now, there are more houses on the market today than they were at this time last year. Right now, in 2024, we had over 5,710 active listings right now. That means actively on the market. This has nothing to do with what's sold, because I already told you what has already sold this year. But the active listing is 5,710. Last year, on this date, at this time, it was 4,732. So I say that to say that we are in a buyer's market. The reason why we're in a buyer's market is when there are more houses than there are buyers, we're in a buyer's market. When there are more buyers than there are houses, we're in a seller's market. So we are in a buyer's market right now. Right now is a great time for buyers to buy. Also, it is the winter time. Another reason right now it's a great time for buyers to buy is because during the winter months, the days are shorter. It gets dark around 4 o'clock. Most people don't want to go look at houses when it get dark. On top of that, most people don't want to move in the wintertime. But once the days started getting longer, starts getting nice outside, you have more activity. And with more activity means more people are viewing. When more people are viewing, that means more people are interested. So right now, when things are drastically slow, it's the best time to actually purchase a home because you have less competition than you would during the summertime and springtime. Summertime and springtime, most people, especially people who have family and kids that they want in certain school districts, they're getting ready and they want to be moved before August. So that's why between March And September is the busiest time of the month when it pertains to selling homes and buying homes because there are more people out there. The days are longer. And plus, in March, we spring forward. So the days are longer, people outside. The more people outside, more activity goes on, more activity goes on, more people look at houses, more people look at houses, more competition. That's why sometimes when people see houses priced relatively low, you're not the only one that's looking at that house. There's so many other people who are looking at it. Just like you have access to the internet, they do too. So it's thousands of people. If you go on homes.com, if you go on Zillow, if you go on Redfin, if you go on any of these big corporations website, it will tell you the number of views in most cases on that particular home. And I think homes.com tell you if it's a very popular home. Now, you have to understand that's just one website that home is on. That's not the only website. They're on various websites. And I say that to say that if you're in the market to buy or you're in the market to sell, please reach out to me so I can give you a personal DNA of your situation and what's best for you. I have people right now that are out there looking for homes, buying homes, selling homes. I actually need to post. I went to a settlement 2 days ago. I have not posted that on my social media yet, but I will actually post the settlement on that one. But nevertheless, those are the market statistic and the market update. So let me go to my Q&A so we can get right into these questions and answers. I'll be right back. All right, all right. Thank you all for being with me. As always, please follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Threads, Snapchat, and TikTok. And on my YouTube, please follow me. Also, all of these podcasts that I do, and even the ones that you've actually missed, is actually on my YouTube as well. If you go to my YouTube channel and you click on live, you will find every episode. I'm on episode 128 right now. So if you missed anything, all the subjects, Q&As, and topics are right there to be discussed. So let me go into my first Q&A of the day. How do you take the deed out of a deceased person's name? How do you take the deed out of a deceased person's name? That's a good question. Now, here's the thing. You have to either have a power of attorney or a will in order to do so. Because if the person is deceased, of course, they cannot transfer it over to you. If you have a power of attorney or will, then you can actually do that by contacting a title company. A title company is going to want to see these paperwork to make sure that you are legit as far as being able to do so. Now, if you don't, the property has to go through probate. Probate is a long process with the local courts that has to actually give you rights to that. Now, in some cases, you have parents who pass away. They didn't leave a will. They didn't leave a power of attorney. So you have kids fighting over it. And a lot of time, the kid that actually is the proactive one and takes the initiative to go to the court and do so is normally the one who ends up getting their name on things. So again, you have to have the proper documentation in order to be able to transfer, to take the deed out of a deceased person's name. Having the will, power of attorney, and then contacting a title company. If you don't, you have to go through the probate court. That is a good question. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them so I can ask them as well. Okay, the next question is, what funding account can you remove money from to purchase a home without being penalized? What funding account can you remove money from to purchase a home without being penalized? Well, that's a good question as well. Now, what you can actually do is if you have a 401k on your job, you can, excuse me, remove money normally from that, in which they will not penalize you to purchase a home. If you have one home and you're actually looking to get another home, in most cases, when you have more than one home, lenders assume that one of those homes is an investment property. Therefore, you can do a 1031 exchange in which you can take equity out of one home and transfer the funds over to purchase another home because they assume it is an investment property, unless otherwise stated. Now, when you're doing that, you really have to speak with the lenders as far as the guidelines to make sure, because don't quote me on that. I do know it's a 1031 exchange, and I do know it is if you're getting the investment property. Now, I have a client right now that actually has a VA loan on the current home that he owns, and he's looking to buy an investment property, but VA is saying that he has to rent out his first home in order to buy the second home, because the home that he is in, or the home that he's currently in, has to always be his primary residential. So the next home he purchased, they're saying, has to be his primary residential. So therefore, the first home he has to rent out as an investment property. So the reason why I'm telling you to always speak with the lender is because the lenders know the guidelines to a T. I'm just a real estate professional that knows a lot, but when it pertains to knowing the actual guidelines and how things are structured, the lenders can advise you better on that. Okay. All right. The other question that I have is, why is a townhouse in unit more valuable than an interior townhouse? Why is a townhouse in unit is more valuable than an interior townhouse? Okay, these are all great questions. And the reason why an in-unit townhome is more valuable is because it is an in-unit. It therefore, in most cases, has a little bit more space, and a lot of times it does not have it's kind of like a semi-detached, even though it is a townhome. So a semi-detached or detached home always carry more value because it gives more square footage, and it gives the openness, and it has more space. Anything with more space tends to always be more valuable. Most in-unit townhouse tend to have more space. Therefore, it's always more valuable. And in many cases, some people prefer to have an in-unit townhome because they'd rather have person on one side, but not the other side, because sometimes they can utilize the yard space to, entertain or do something of that sort, or maybe even have their pets there, to where the interior ones, they're only limited to the front or the back of the home. So that's a great question. I thank you for all of your questions. Please always continue to send me these questions, because like I mentioned before, you may not be the only one asking these questions, and I can easily answer these questions for other people as well too. So let me check one more source to see if I have. Okay. All right, I got another question. Someone said, what are some strategies to negotiate an interest rate buy down? What are some strategies to negotiate an interest rate buy down? That's a good question. See, here's some of the strategies that you can implement. You can implement, basically, when you make an offer on a property, is having the seller to actually buy down an interest rate. That is part of negotiating with a real estate professional like myself, and then also holding that conversation with my client. Like, for example, if I have a client who's trying to buy down an interest rate, and I have a motivated seller that I know a house has been on the market for a while, I can actually put that in the contract to have the seller to actually buy down the interest rate. Now, it's just like when you ask for closing costs. When you ask for closing costs from a seller, it's not guaranteed that the seller is going to give you the closing cost. Nothing is guaranteed when you make an offer. You make an offer and you negotiate. Sometimes sellers are willing to budge, sometimes they're not willing to budge. But you have to put it in the contract. So the way that you can strategize negotiating the interest rate buy down is you actually have to put it in an offer. That is one way to negotiate that. So we can talk more about that if you have any questions. And someone said, what is your YouTube channel for those who don't know? My YouTube channel is actually Damon the Agent. That is my name on everything. If you go to youtube.com/Damon the Agent, you should be able to find my YouTube channel. And then click on the live. When you go to my channel, click on the live, and you'll be able to get all my videos. But what I'll do is I'll put this is actually a Facebook question. So what I'm going to do is go and put my YouTube channel underneath your comment, since you asked that question. Thank you for asking that question. Thank you for being supportive of me always. And I am going to Do it right now. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Hold on. I'm sorry. All right. So let me see if I have any more questions while I am doing this. Because I was just about to go and then I saw that I had some questions. So I'm glad. Like I said, I haven't been connected on Facebook for a while because of some technical difficulties. And I am glad it is connected back because now I get to answer everyone's questions. So here is, I just posted it. Just posted my YouTube channel on Facebook. And let me see if I have any more questions that is being asked before I go to my topic of today. All right. Check real quick. Sometimes, don't y'all hate when the internet moves slow and you're waiting on it? Yeah, that's what's going on with me right now. So um, let me double check this one last spot, and I'll go to my topic of today. Okay. All right. Hold on. Let's see. All right. Hold on. Let me put it. I'm going to put my YouTube channel on that page as well, too. All right. I think that's all the questions of today. I did post my YouTube channel for you all to click on. When you click on the YouTube channel, make sure you click on the live. If you click on the live, you'll see various topics that I've been talking about when it pertains to the housing market, Q&As, and also with my topic of the day. All right. I'll be right back with my topic of the day. Mango juice, y'all. I love mango juice. All right. My topic of today is keep your circle close and keep your circle small. Now, I know many of us have heard this before. We all know about, but here's what I learned also. The crowd is usually wrong. When you see a big crowd and you follow the crowd is usually wrong, people. The reason why I say keep your circle close and keep your circle small is because unfortunately in the world that we live in today, everyone you can't trust. You can't even trust your own family member. Sometimes you can't even trust your own parents. I mean, it's just unfortunately that's a reality for some people. And because of that, sometimes friends are more like family than family. See, blood makes you related, but situations make you family. And that's true in many sense. See, like we all have people in our families that we're related because we're blood related. We have similar last names, or we're cousins, aunts, uncles, whatever. But truth and behold, those people don't like you. They talk about you. They lie on you. They fakes and they snakes, and that's just in some people's family. Then you got some people on their jobs or in the neighborhood that they live in. They have snakes and fakes. They have people who will smile in their face and stab behind their back. You have to keep your circle small, people. It's not good to be a whole bunch of people, because here's the thing: the more people that you're around, if something goes down, I guarantee you everybody ain't gonna be there for you. I don't care what happens. If a fight breaks out, everybody ain't gonna be there. Gonna be some people who scatter, and there's gonna be very few trying to fight everybody. Same thing happens if not just if a fight breaks out, but if anything happens in your family, period, or anything happens, period. You have to know who to trust and who not to trust. Unfortunately, we can't trust everybody. And that goes for everybody. Unfortunately, just like, and that's my oldest daughter. Her birthday is tomorrow, y'all. I got a daughter that's turning 30. She's getting old. But like I said, unfortunately, we saw 2 days ago where the guy, the CEO for the United Health Care, he was assassinated. And we don't know the story behind why he was assassinated and everything. And it's big news, and it's unfortunate, you know. But reality is that happens every day, especially in certain people's neighborhood. People are killed every day, assassinated the same way every day. But it's not big news, And sometimes when people are betrayed, killed, lied on. It's by people that was close to them, people who had the inside scoop on them, people who knew more about their whereabouts than they did. Sometimes people will lure you to certain places just to set you up. And I say that to say, like with that guy, somebody knew at 6:40 in the morning where he was going to be to assassinate him. And I say that to say that it's very few people in this world that we can actually trust. When you find someone that you can actually trust, I'm talking about you can trust with your life, meaning that if it was just you two or you few people, a gang of people, and y'all had to go to battle, go to war, and they got your back. Or if you lost everything and you knew that they was going to have your back. Those are the people that you need to cherish the most. Those are the people you need to be bonded with, building lifetime memories with. Everyone else doesn't really matter, because here's the thing. Sometimes in life, we're so caught up in caring for and loving other people and looking out for everyone else. But truth be told is sometimes everyone else don't look out for you. And why is that? Because some people are selfish. Some people are just trying to get what they can get from others. You don't know who they are. Even the families that we're born into, everybody has relatives like that. You have somebody, whether it's a sibling, it can be your own mother or father, it can be your children, it can be your cousins, your brothers, you have somebody that sometimes is mad at you for you doing better today than you did yesterday. You trying to be the best version of yourself, but they mad because they're stuck at wherever they're stuck at. And I say that to say that you got to understand that it ain't you, it's them. So once you realize who people are, you got to treat people accordingly. Otherwise, you're going to always be unhappy, always unhappy trying to please people, always unhappy trying to do things or explain things when you don't have to explain things. People are going to judge you and criticize you no matter who you are, no matter what you do, no matter what you like. People are always going to have something to say. You can be too tall, you can be too short, you can be too fat, you can be too skinny, you can be too light, you can be too dark. Somebody's always going to be critical of you. And at the same time, though, sometimes those people who are critical of you are the ones who are hating on you. And you have to realize to be able to identify that. So when I say keep your circle close and small, I mean that. And I mean that like if you just have one person in your life, that's a small and close circle. If you got several people, whether they're your children or your immediate family, you ain't got no family, and it's just close colleagues or close co-workers. Keep them close and keep them small. The less people in your business, the better. Because the bigger your circle is, the more people know what's going on, the more people talk. And sometimes people talk to the wrong people. And then people making assumptions and accusations about you, and it don't even be true. It just be assumptions. The reality is there are a lot of people out here who run with their assumption as if their assumption is actually a reality and the truth, but it's really their assumption. And truth be told, the first three letters of the word assumption is really what they are, but they'll never do that. And when they're wrong, they'll never admit that. So again, keep your circle close and keep your circle small, because in this world that we live in, you don't know who you can trust. You really don't. So I just want to say that keep your circle small and keep your circle close. And guess what? You'll be happier than you would if you had a big circle and a whole bunch of chaos and confusion going on in it. All right. I'll be back with my closing remarks. All right, y'all. Again, before we leave, please, I want to thank you again for joining me each and every Friday at 12 noon for Real Estate, Real Life, Real Talk, and Real Live with your host, myself, Damon the Agent. Please follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Threads, Snapchat, and YouTube. And please follow me on my YouTube channel. Again, I posted it at the bottom for you all. It's all in all my platforms is whatever they are / Damon the Agent. That's DamonTheagent. And that's also my website, DamonTheAgent.com, which always has all of my social media platforms on it. So if you can't find it, just go to damontheagent.com and click on the social media icons on there. Now, my recap of the day is the current housing market we're in. We're currently in a buyer's market. The inventory is increasing, and it is the best time to buy or sell, because the reason why is if you continue to wait, prices continue to go up. The percentage that prices are going up in most area is more than if the interest rate dropped down 5% right now. Because here's the thing, in the past 2 years, the prices of houses have gone up way more than 5%. So we're currently at like 7%. If the interest rate came down to 2%, which I doubt, but if it came down to 2%, if you continue to wait, the increase of houses is going to go up more than 5%, which means your payment is still going to be more tomorrow than it would be today. So, and I also just did a couple of Q&As, but I also just talked about keep your circle small and close. Listen, it's no secret that many of us have been betrayed, lied on by people close to us. And sometimes it's been by people through rumors or whatever. Keep your circle small and close, because you're better able to maintain what goes on in it. You're better off loving, taking care of each other. Plus, you can't trust everyone out here. There's so many snakes and fakes out here that it's ridiculous. And it's unrealistic because, like I mentioned, sometimes it's in your own family. So I say that to say that keep your circle small and close. And I want to thank you all for joining me. I'll see you all next Friday at 12 noon with real estate topics and Q&As and a topic of the day. Follow me and I'll follow you back. Thank you.